Okay, there we go. Okay, let's start first by just grounding, settling our energy down, feeling our body, bringing our mind and our body and our hearts into alignment. Bring your hands over your belly and expand your abdomen like a balloon into your hands. So big inhale and exhale through your mouth. Just a few breaths like that. Big inhale and exhale. And again. And just breathing through your nose now. Feel your feet on the floor, making contact with the earth. Pull your shoulders back slightly, opening up your heart and your lungs. Close your eyes for a moment and just take a second to check in internally. See where you're at right now at this moment. Where are your emotions right now? Where are your thoughts? How does your body feel? Just noting that, not needing to do anything with it. And before we start, let's go ahead and you may set an intention for today's practice or for the rest of the week, or maybe an intention that you've been working on. So just to recap, an intention would be a statement that said in the positive, it's like an affirmation that's already happening. So it could be, my life is filled with joy and ease. So if you're having a hard time struggling with perhaps bringing some peace in your life and feeling safe, so maybe your affirmation could be, I am safe, I am sound, everything that comes to me brings me peace. So those are some examples, stating it in the positive. So just repeat whatever works to you, maybe one of the ones that I just said or something that is yours in particular. Go ahead and repeat that. I'm going to close the door that's making noise. Wonderful. And then let's go ahead and open your eyes and let's just do a little bit of warming up with knocking on the door of life. So you're just taking your hands and you're tapping your kidney area, just twisting from your waist. Little tap, your arms are relaxed. Your kidney is underneath your waist. Kidneys, you have two. And consider the battery of the body. Just to give you a little background on Qigong for anybody that might be new. Qigong is from China. It's thousands of years old. And it's based on the Taoist philosophy that is a nature-based philosophy that we also encompass all the elements that are around us on this earth are also within us. So if we can bring those in harmony within ourselves and with our environment around us, we're going to find balance. So the terms yin and yang, which most of you have heard of. Yin is that receptive energy, that more nourishing earth-based energy, which is what we're being called to develop more right now. And the yang energy is the more active, action-oriented energy. We really want a balance of both within our systems. And then let's take one hand up to right underneath the collarbone, and the other one's at the kidney still. At this point, underneath the collarbone is a lung point. And it's going to help to enhance, charge up your immune system. And slapping across your shoulders, getting into your neck and your head, releasing tension here on the shoulders. You might be sitting more these days in front of the computer a lot, and we tend to tighten up in our upper body. So let's let that go. And then back around again. Let's make this a little bit more active for a moment. So take your legs apart. And you're just going to shift your weight side to side. A little bit of leg strengthening at the same time. So you come down as low as you want. Today's a beautiful day on the central coast of California. You can imagine that you're practicing outside on the cliffs. Bring in the energy of the ocean, the sky, the ground beneath your feet, the air between your fingers. And coming on up. Good. It should feel a little bit more warmed up at this point. Let's do a little bit more warm up for our backs. So just standing up nice and tall, front of the head towards the ceiling. Just going to twist over to your right, to your left. You're twisting slowly from low back to mid back to upper back and looking behind you. And then coming back to center and back around. The center. So nice and slow. Think about getting into your low back, feeling that in your mid back, and then look behind you as much as is comfortable for you to get into your upper back. Arms are relaxed. We'll do a bit with the neck today. Most people at some point in their lives have issues with their neck area. So think about your neck as well when you twist, low back, mid back, up back. Look behind you. Back to center. And again. And then back to center. And let's do a movement called clearing. So chi means energy, life force energy. For those of you who practice yoga, similar to prana. And gong means working with. So we're working with our life force energy. A big inhale and exhale. One hand's going to come down in front and one comes down behind as you bend your knees. A big inhale up, exhale down. So what are you ready to get rid of? What can you release? What attitudes aren't serving you? They're just pulling you down. Right now, we need to use all of our resources to keep ourselves uplifted. When we're joyful and uplifted, we're more in the flow and our immune system works better. When our energy becomes depressed, frustrated, we vibrate, our energy vibration is lowered. It's then easier for our immune system to become compromised. Inhale and exhale. So that one hand is just dropping my arms. I know that a lot of people have problems with this one at first. So the arms are up, one's dropping in front, one's behind. And I'm doing a little bounce with my knees. A little bend, which brings about a bounce. Now, if you notice, I am exhaling out my mouth. And by doing this, I help to release stress and tension and negativity. So we want to fill ourselves up with a good positive chi, what would be called righteous chi. In other words, it just puts us in that great state of mind. But first we have to get rid of whatever is preventing that from being able to be absorbed in our system. So we got to empty the cup of dirty water first, so to speak, before we can fill up with clean water. One more, each direction. Good. And drop your hands down. And just notice, if you bring your hands towards each other, you might start to feel a little bit of energy between your hands. That's your electrical energy that is charging up your body, your mind, your spirit. And let's do a little bit again for the wrist, and then I think we'll get into the neck. So with the wrist, let's just tap. Let's tap. It's about 3 finger lengths in. Tapping on one side is the back, one side is the front side. For emotional balance and immune system, and great for your hands and your wrists. So they say in Qigong that the energy can accumulate in the joints of your body. And if you don't get it moving, it can stagnate, and then it can cause some joint stiffness and pain. So you want to get that qi moving through the joints. So let your wrist just relax here, changing direction. And then we're tapping key energy points. One is for relaxation, and the other, as I think I just mentioned, is for the immune system. And then shaking your hands out a little bit. And just release them down. In fact, let's do a move called, let's throw off some old energy. So hands come up, and you just throw down. Big inhale up. You can come up on your toes if you want. Big exhale down. Letting go of any fears, uncertainties. Bringing more circulation to your system, circulating your qi. You don't have to come up onto your tiptoes, those of you who have issues with balance. Up and down. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Big inhale up. My hands are just up towards the ceiling, and then you're going to come all the way down and roll back up, pushing your hands up to the ceiling, stretch the front of your body, and now the back of your legs. Inhaling up. This is called full body flow. Exhale down. Inhale up. And exhale down. And let's leave our hands down, and let's do a movement called pendulum. So you're gonna take your hands and just let them move side to side. Relax your head. And you can lift your arms up a little bit higher if that's comfortable for you. So in Qigong, they say no pain, no pain. If this is painful for you, you can make the movement a little smaller. You could just come to right here. This is called pendulum. And then coming back up, nice and slow. Let's just go into waterways for a moment. So one hand comes in front and one comes behind, helping to balance our emotional energy. Arms are relaxed. So just imagine you're moving your hands through water. One hand and then the other, and pushing the water away. Breathing nice and slow and gentle. Coming back. Feeling the chi ball for a moment. And let's do a movement called shaking. So I do this pretty much every day. Shaking off whatever it is you don't need. So again, a little bounce in your heels, shaking down to the earth, anything weighing heavy on you, any concerns, remembering that to be just in the here and now. So any worries, they're just projecting out in the future. That hasn't even happened yet, and it might not ever happen. And anything from the past is done. So letting go of the past and the future, so your body can be grounded and present and mindful right now. Good shake. And this movement also is great for your bones, especially if you bounce on your heels a little bit, and your immune system, or your lymphatic system, which of course is going to aid your immune system. So shaking a little bit more, a little bit faster. Let's do some healing sounds with this. So there's a healing sounds that help to balance our body. And if you were in last week's class, we did some of these healing sounds. So first, let's start with the sound that helps to balance our lungs. And it sounds like the S sound. So I will do it a little bit louder. You could do it softer at your house. It's and then let's do a healing sound for, let's go to the kidneys, and the sound is chew. So chew. And let's go to the liver. To the liver, it's shh, like fighting a baby. And then let's go to the heart. And the heart sound is ha. So it's ha. And let's go to the spleen. So the spleen sound is ho. Ho. And our last sound will be he. And that's working with our endocrine system. So that's he. And so we're working with the healing sounds, which are part of Chinese medicine, which Qigong falls under the traditional Chinese medicine as well. And just let's slow it down now and relax. Wow, now notice. You feel perhaps a little tingling, a little energy, a little vibration down your hands. No, everybody has a different way of describing that feeling, or it's different for you. So for me, it feels like a tingle. For you, it might be different. And your first time doing Qigong, you might not feel anything, but just be patient with it. Bring your hands together, feel that Qi ball between your hands. And then let's take your right hand down, and I'm mirroring you, and your left up, and do a nice big stretch. Now your pinkies rotate in, pinkies come in, bending down and back up, and nice big stretch. So your right hand is coming up, left, down, bringing that energy in and out. So the Qi, that life force, you felt it perhaps between your hands. It's not just within you, it's everywhere around us. And the Qigong helps us to be able to access it. Coming back down and up. One more time. And then just bring your hands down. And let's go ahead and take our hands behind our back. Just if you can do this or this, that's great. If that is not going to work for you. Just grab your forearms or your wrists. So you keep your shoulders down. Let's do some head circles. So dropping your chin to your chest and then taking your left ear to your left shoulder and back up and down. Most of you are familiar with head circles. Exhale down. Big inhale up. Take care not to drop your head back as you come up. Just kind of come up straight so you don't crunch the vertebrae of your neck. Exhaling down. Take a moment to look at your feet. They should be facing forward, about hip distance apart. Relaxing your face. And change direction. Exhale down. Inhaling up. Maybe you hear a little crunching in your neck, and that's okay. And bring your head back up. Let's do a little bit deeper into our neck. So take your head over to your right, so ear to the shoulder, and then take your chin so it's just facing down towards the floor. And do little circles with your chin, just little tiny circles, and you're going to feel it right here in your neck. Not overdoing it, it should feel good. It's like you had a pencil attached to your chin and facing down towards the floor, and you're just drawing little circles. This is one of my favorite movements to get into this area of the neck. Changing direction. And then go ahead and drop your chin to your chest and over to the other side here to the shoulder, and then drop your chin facing down towards the floor. And again, little circles. Relax your face. And keep your attention here on your body. Just notice the sensations. You can always repeat your intention to yourself. So where your attention goes, your energy flows. Keep it focused here. The practice is going to be that much more beneficial. And relax your head down. And then just rolling back up. And let's do a little bit for our legs. We do stand for a long period of time with Qigong. Now you could always, if you have leg issues going on or you're tired, balance issues, you can always sit in a chair while you're doing this and just do the upper body movements. So that's what I love about Qigong, is it's really accessible to anyone, and you can just modify and make the movement smaller. That said, we are standing a lot, so let's do a movement for our legs and for our hips. Get that qi flowing through the lower body. You're going to take your left leg, it comes across and up and down. Now this takes a little balance. So if you have a table, you could do that. If you need to. Cross, up, down. Across, up, and down. It helps if you look at something that's not moving. So I know you're looking at me, but if you could also, once you feel like you got the movement, look at the pattern on the floor perhaps, and that'll help. Cross, up, down. We'll do a couple more. One more. Good. Just shake your legs out a little bit. Let's do movement that warms up our mid-back area. You take your hands, it's called swimming bear. Hands come forward and open. So you're bringing your hands forward, palms are up, hips come back, and opening up. So once we get this energy flowing and circulating, we start to open up the channels, or what's called in Chinese medicine, the meridians of our body. It's like rivers of energy that flow through our body. So we start to send that life force energy to all of our organs, to all of our cells. We bring more oxygen into our system, into our lungs. And we start to release all old stagnant chi. And that brings us into a place where we feel more full of life force and effervescent, but we also feel relaxed and at peace at the same time. It's a wonderful place to be. So rounding here, you feel that in your mid-back. The weight goes back to your heels, and then here it goes to your toes. Back. And opening up your heart here. And let's reverse that. There's a lot of different styles of Qigong. The type I teach is adopted from my teacher, and it's called integrated Qigong, which involves lots of different styles, or it integrates a lot of different styles in the practice. So people might say, well, what's the difference between Qigong and Tai Chi? Tai Chi, Qigong's been around for thousands of years. From what I understand, Tai Chi's been around for maybe 800, and it's a more choreographed form of movements where you do a set pattern each time. With Qigong, we mix and match different movements according to what type of results we're looking for. I don't know if everybody would agree with me, but I like to say that Qigong is sort of like a cross between yoga and Tai Chi. And coming back, just holding that Qi ball again, feeling that strength in your hands. Just do a little tapping on the heart area. So there's 3 energy centers recognized in Qigong. One is between your eyes, one is your heart, and one is by your belly. The heart is where we hold and process emotions. So just the gentle tapping around the heart area helps us to process our emotions, to release those that we don't need, to keep our energy clear. And there's also a lot of lung points around here. Wonderful for our immunity. Little tapping. So anytime during the week where you feel emotions come up, and this is really easy time for that to happen, because we not only have our own energy to contend with, but we're picking up on other people as well, even though we're not around them so much. So if you feel emotions come up, instead of trying to analyze them and figure them out in your head, which usually means that they just circle around even more, just try this. Try a few movements, try a little tapping, and then brushing it off down to the earth. So they say in Qigong that the earth allows us to compost whatever we release down to her. So releasing down the earth, we'll take that and recycle it and turn it into new, clear energy. Stop for a moment, just check in. Let's do a movement called waterfall. So you're going to take your fingers, face them in, and you come up, and then coming down. So now imagine you're starting to pull up some energy from the earth, and flowing down. So pulling it up the back of your body and down the front. We use a lot of visualization in Qigong. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, straightening my legs and bending my legs. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale down. So imagine waterfall, the water element. So we're pulling up water. And like a waterfall, just letting it descend down to the earth. Water has soothing, cooling, calming qualities. Bringing that in and releasing down. And exhale. So just like with yoga, always coordinating our breath with our movements. Let's slow it down a little bit. The slower we go, the more relaxed we become. Keeping your mind on your body. If your thoughts of water, just come back to sensation, letting your hands float down to the earth and back up. Releasing down, back up, and down. And again, just pausing for a moment, feeling the chi. Let's do a movement called repulsing the monkey. So many of you are familiar with the term monkey mind. Our mind constantly processing, constantly thinking, constantly trying to run everything. And this is a movement that helps to slow that down. And it's associated also with the liver. So the organs each have an emotional energetic component to them as well. So with this movement, your legs, again, about hip distance apart. Take your hands and you're going to arms out to the sides and just twist so you're facing towards your left. Your arms are open. And you're going to take your left hand and bend your elbow and it comes by your ear. Imagine you're gathering all these crazy thoughts that circle around and you're pushing them down the inside of your right hand, pushing them down. And then you're going to just twist to the other side. My hands are open. Now I'm taking my back hand, grabbing thoughts from my mind and pushing them down the inside. Keep going with that. So the liver is associated with the spring season, the season we're currently in. So especially helpful to balance that energy of the liver this time of year. Inhale. Exhaling. Done some bending and straightening my legs. Now, if that is a lot for you to remember, just work on the arm movements first. So I'm opened up to the side and this arm is coming down. As it comes down, I shift to face forward. And then I come back around again and I'm opening and I'm shifting, face forward. And then exhaling here. And then I'm coming around and then that arm flips open. Big inhale. And exhale. . helping to slow the mind down. We want to have access to our minds, of course, but we also want to have influence from our hearts. And if we get really tight in our mind, it's hard to let that energy from our hearts and from our intuition flow through us. Okay, last one. And let's just take your hands back, feeling that energy for a moment. And let's do a movement that looks like this. So we're starting with that right hand on top and the left on the bottom. The left is by your belly, the right is by your heart. Imagine you have a big chi ball there. You're going to float your right hand up and your left down. You can follow along, and then you're going to create that ball again. So just imagine that you can feel energy, perhaps you can, between your palms. So feeling that energy condensed, feeding into your belly and into your heart, and then back up, gathering it from all the elements around you, and then back. And then big inhale. And exhale. We'll just keep moving through it a bit. Going nice and slow. And see if you can feel that chi as your hands start to come closer. Maybe you feel it when you come here, maybe you still feel it here. And back up. And around. Just let your hands float. So imagine you're moving through water in a stream or something, and how your arms can just easily flow and feel weightless when you're in water. That helps us to access that more relaxed energy. And let's do it one more time. And just bring your hands up and bring them down. It's called pulling down the heavens. Bringing in energy from all around you and down through your body. Big inhale as you open up. And exhale as you release down. And it's floating down. Let's go right into a movement called opening the flow. Allowing your hands just to float up and float down. Imagine that you are riding a current of chi, current of energy. They're floating down. My elbows are bent. My hands are relaxed. So everything is just loose and relaxed. And exhale. Slowing it down a bit. Especially if you're a fast mover, you may have to remind yourself to slow down a bit. And that is something I have to constantly remind myself. I find by doing Qigong regularly, I feel like I move through life with more grace and ease, more in the flow. And when I'm not, you notice it very quickly. And I have the tools through this practice and other practices to quickly bring myself back to that graceful state, that heartfelt, heart-centered state. So you can start to incorporate some of these practices, some of these movements. This is a simple one to remember. Hands float up And hands flow down. Help bring you back into the flow. Maybe first do a little shaking to release tension, and then just a little flowing movement. When we are more in the flow, everything we do in life can be more heartfelt, can come more from that heart space. It's easier for us to be kinder to ourselves and to others as well. Kindness is also contagious. Let's do one more. And let the hands flow down. Nice and slow. Checking in with that chi ball. Now we're going to do a little flow where we work with the 3 energy centers of the body. Your hands come, hips can go back, hands come up, and then the back, your hands are together. Imagine you're pulling up that recycled energy from the earth to about your sternum level, pushing away whatever you don't need. Let's do a little circle up around the head, and then your hands come back. You're gathering chi all around you, bringing your fingers to the crown of your head, and then your elbows come forward. Now visualize that you're filling your head with that life force energy. You're filling your mind, helping to loosen any tightness in your brain, and pulling that energy down to your body. And then the hands just float up and float down. And let's do that again. So hands come out and back in, out. Then a big circle around your head. And your hands come back behind you. I didn't really show this before. Then your hands rotate so your palms are facing up. And now gathering energy around you, stretching up. Fingertips come to the crown of your head, elbows come forward. And now imagine you're pulling that life force energy down through the central channel of your body. And coming up and down. Do that one more time. Hands come out. And just do the best you can if this is new to you. Again, don't get too much in your head about it, about being right. Doesn't matter. You're moving. Hands come back behind you, and then you flip so your palms are facing up. Coming on up. Fingertips to the crown of your head and pulling on down. And hands will come up and down. So we were feeding right there. We were sending chi into our forehead area, which the energy centers in Qigong are called dantians. So that was one of our 3 dantians, and the next one is in our heart, working more with our emotions. So again, hands come out and up, inhale and exhale. And now your hands are just opening up around that heart area, coming down towards the earth, picking up energy, and then bringing it to your heart. So your fingertips are touching the sternum area. So you're feeding that positive life force energy, that recycled energy into your heart now. So you can have emotions that feed you and nourish you. And then you just release your hands down. And then let's go back out again and in, out, and out to the sides again, and then back down. Palms are facing down to the earth. You're grabbing that fresh chi, bringing it into your heart, pausing here for a moment, feeling into that heart center. And then this time, let's let our hands float down. Let's let them float up and down. And then back out and in, back of the hands. Whatever keeps your heart from being open, pushing it away. Now opening up, hands come back. Now I'm flipping. My fingertips are facing down, palms are facing towards me or you. Coming down to the earth, bringing up that fresh life force energy into the heart. Fingertips touching the heart. And releasing down. And let's just float up and float down. Now hands come out again. This time we're going to work with our physical energy center by our belly. Up, so you can see the start is always the same. Out. And now hands come up, it's a big circle. And now can you, however deep you can bend down to the earth, maybe you can bend deep, wherever is comfortable for you. Imagine you're scooping up a big ball of that recycled chi and you're forming it into a beach ball. So a big beach ball. Could be a golden light, and you're lifting it up towards the sky and then down through your head and your heart and into your belly area. By right underneath and behind your belly button is this physical energy center or dantian. So filling yourself up with health and vitality, energy. And back out, in and out. Back around, it's a big circle. And then squatting down to the earth. So you're going to get some strength building in here too with Qigong. And forming that big ball. And taking that, lifting up, maybe grabbing a little bit more energy from the sky and down through my head, my heart, and then back to the belly. Let's do that one more time. Out and in, out, and a big circle around, down to the earth, and gathering that chi ball. Maybe you can feel some energy in your hands and you're bringing that up, gathering more, and then down. Your head, your heart, your belly, and lift up and down. And then let's just bring our hands over our belly and do a circle. So you're coming down your left side, up your right, and down your left. Just solidifying that energy in your belly. And let's take our hands, feel that energy between your hands. Take your feet a little farther apart and just shift your weight over to the left and your hands come to the left. And you're holding your chi ball. So your right hand will come on top. Your left is underneath. And then as you shift over to the right, the left hand comes on top. So you're just shifting back and forth. Imagine you're holding a ball of energy and you're just shifting it back and forth, pulling it in and coming across. Shifting away. Playing with it. This is called Dragon Plays with This Chi Ball. Most of the names of the movements in Qigong are based on nature or on animals, since it comes from a nature-based philosophy. Taoism. And then let's just hang here for a moment. Feel that chi ball. Bring your feet a little closer if you want. Maybe play with that ball a little bit. And farther apart. And let's go right into a movement called flying. So your hands come up and down. Helps you to access those inner resources. You're just breathing through your nose now, feeling relaxed and at ease. Just like a bird that you may see soaring gracefully to a blue sky. Hands float up and float down. Inhale in up and exhale down. And slow it down a little bit. To see if you can feel that chi, that energy moving your arms. Instead of your mind saying, move your arms up and down mechanically, that little current that you felt moving through your arms and hands, you're moving your arms with that feeling. And I find the slower I go, the more I can get in touch with that. And release. And let's do a movement called centering, bringing in more of that fresh life force energy. Take your left hand out, pulling in the chi, and pulling it down into your system. So if you've been feeling depleted, being there for others, listening to them, and you feel a little bit depleted, they're pulling that energy in, filling yourself back up. If any parts of yourself have been scattered elsewhere, imagine you're just bringing them all back together, down through to those three main centers, your mind, your heart, your body. Aligning those three dantians to bring harmony and balance. Inhale and exhale. Remember, breathing in through your nose. Let's do one more from each side. And take your hands and just bring the webbing by your thumbs together, cross one hand over the other, and bring it over your belly. Now, this is called bamboo in the wind, and it's our final movement. You bring your feet together, if that's comfortable for you. If you need a little farther apart, that's okay. And there's a little bend to your knees, just a little, and your hips are relaxed. And if you like, you can close your eyes or just look down towards the floor. You're just going to rock and sway a little bit. However your body wants to move, and this helps to align all that chi that we stimulated in our systems today. Helps it to go wherever it needs to go. Just allowing yourself to relax here, relax your face, your eyes. We say this area behind the belly, it's like having a savings account where it's like a reservoir where we can store that chi that we move through our systems there. So there are times when your body, your emotions, your mind needs a little boost. You have a place to go. to grab some of that energy reservoir. And when you're ready, go ahead, open your eyes. Bring your hands to your heart in a prayer position and take a moment to acknowledge to yourself something you are grateful for today, however big or small. Maybe the sunny day, the fact that you actually took the time to take care of yourself, to nourish yourself with the practice today. So gratitude keeps us in that graceful flowing state. And before we end our practice, take a moment to repeat your intention to yourself, assuming that you set one 3 more times. And as we say in the yoga world, the light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.